When it comes to fast picking runs, we all look to none other than Paul Gilbert. After today's video, you'll go from sounding like this to this by mastering these 3 steps. To get the most out of today's lesson, it's best to have all 3 note string major scale shapes down and mastered. If you're unfamiliar with those, I made a video called The Ultimate Guide to the Major Scale. It's linked down below. Go check that out, learn those scale shapes, and it's gonna really help you expand upon the 3 steps that we covered today. To get there, you first have to master step 1. Today we're going to be in the key of G major, and all that is going to be 5, 7, 8 on the B string with a down, up, down. Then we're going to go to the high E, do an upstroke 5th fret, right back to 8 on the B string with a downstroke, and then upstroke on the 7th fret. This pattern and all other patterns in today's lesson are going to be 16th note triplets, which means there are 6 notes per beat, so they're going to be 6 note grouped patterns. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like I said, we're in position 1 of G major today, which looks like this, which is 3, 5, 7 on the lowest 2 strings, 4, 5, 7 on the next D and G strings, and then 5, 7, 8 on the last 2 strings. So what I want you to do is take this pattern that we just learned right here, which takes up 2 strings. We can move it through all string groupings of 2 strings. So we can go down here to our 3, 5, 7 and do it there. That's on our E and A strings. We can go to the A and D string. It looks like this. Go to the D and G strings, which is 4, 5, 7. And then lastly, we have the G and B. That's 4, 5, 7 to 5 on the B. And you might be wondering, oh, can I just change strings with my middle finger and go something like this? Which you can, but Paul Gilbert tends to use his first finger, so I'd recommend practicing it that way. Now, one quick note, with all these patterns today, and especially anything Paul Gilbert related, he likes to do a neutral to an upward pick slanting. So if we look at the right hand here, here's like an exaggerated downward pick slant. Here's an exaggerated up. He's somewhere, here's like a neutral. He's somewhere here or maybe a little up like that. That allows us to get over the strings a little bit cleaner. So this would be a down. There's like obnoxious upward pick slant, which is almost impossible. But somewhere in the neutral to slightly upward seems to be the best in my experience. If you would like tab for today's lesson and access to an exclusive 4th step, go check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. Over there, you'll find tons of great lessons going over theory, technique, how to build speed, how to practice, all kinds of different things, all tabbed out and explained really slow and precisely. The link is in the description. Thank you so much. That was more of the ascending way of doing the pattern, but I also recommend doing it the descending way, which would look like this. In this instance, same scale shape and all that, but we're going the high E. Pinky's going to start on the 8th fret. We're going to go 8, 7, 5. That's down, up, down. And then up on the 8th fret of the B string. Back to the 5th fret high E. The downstroke, and then up on the 7. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's also great to take these to the different string sets as well. So if we go to the B and G, we get something like this. the G and D string, the D and A strings, and then the A and E. That is step 2. Step 2 is another 6-note pattern, and it's actually a little bit simpler, in my opinion, than step 1. It's just going to look like this. So if we go back to position 1 of G major on the B and high E, it's just going to be 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. And the picking's just down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? But we can also take this through every string set. So if we go to the E and A, it looks like this. Go to the A and D, the D and G, the G and B, and then back to the B and high E. Now, he likes to do it this way when he's covering multiple string sets. He'll play this. He'll go do it one time. Now, when he uses this in context, he plays it like this. That's the E and A string set, followed by the A and D, followed by the D and G, then the G and B, then the B and high E. Now, just like step 1, it's really important to practice this the other direction. So that would look something like this. So all we're doing, we're starting with a pinky again with a downstroke. 8, 7, 5, 8, 7, 5. And that's down, up, down, up, down, up. If we want to change string sets, we'll do it this way. We go. Then right to the B and G. And then G to D. D to A, and then A to E. All right, now step 3 is actually a combination of step 1 and step 2. So if we move it back down here, it looks something like this. So step 1. Step 2. Step 1. Step 2. Let's move it through all the string sets. So we go to E and A and D, D and G, G and B, and then B and high E. Now, of course, the most important part to getting these picking patterns down is going to be practice. I recommend practicing each of the 3 steps for 5 minutes, going through the different major scale positions with the metronome and going through all the different string sets. So you might sit down. Just going through every possible place that you can play this in whatever key that you'd like. You can start off in G major like we did today. And then after 5 minutes of doing that, go to the step 2, which would just be this. And then finally, after 5 minutes of that, go to step 3. And then what I recommend is if you did that 5 minutes each, loop that 3 different times. So if you did it 5 minutes, it'll take 45 minutes, but you could cut back. You could do it 2 times each step, and it'd take about 18 minutes to loop it each pattern 3 times. But do that every day for a month or 2, and you should be seeing a lot of progress. And then after that, you can reevaluate your BPM that you're doing with the metronome. You can practice it in different ways. You can I recommend to check out his song Technical Difficulties. There's a lot of killer alternate picking patterns in that song. But yeah, do this for probably a month or 2 straight, and you'll be seeing a lot of progress. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video going over Paul Gilbert picking in 3 steps. It's a lot of fun working on this video, a lot of practice. It's very challenging, but it's very rewarding once you get it going. And I hope you guys got a lot out of today's lesson. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys back next time.